I have no idea how Microsoft or Xbox could possibly miss this. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Aaron and I do tech reviews fast, and I just signed up for Microsoft's xCloud gaming service since they just released support for iOS devices. It's always been a dream to play like Destiny wherever you want without having to actually have a console to play the game on. Now I realize that you can play on a PC or on a computer like that, but I'm not the world's biggest gamer nerd, and so therefore yes, I'm a console gamer, and I want to try to be as fair as I can to Xbox. I've been a PlayStation gamer for a number of years. I haven't had an Xbox since my second 360 went Red Ring of Death, and I switched to the PS3 and then the PS4, and I've never looked back. Again, I'm not the world's biggest gamer, but I do like to play occasionally, and that's always been on PlayStation. But with this new xCloud service, I thought, hey, you know what? Let's give Microsoft a shot and test this thing out and see how it works. So I found the website, I signed up my account, I paid my subscription fee, and I thought like, hey, this should be pretty easy to get going. Maybe I can just use my PlayStation 4 controller since I know that that is compatible with my iPad. But understandably, Microsoft doesn't support the PlayStation controller, so I ran out to Best Buy and bought an Xbox controller. I bought model 1914, which is really confusing, and honestly, like dealing with Microsoft and trying to understand what controller is the right controller, the way that they name their products and devices aren't really easy to understand. But I did call and confirm with Microsoft on the phone that I actually had the right controller. So this is the Xbox wireless controller. It should work fine with the iPad. It should work with my Mac. This controller should work totally fine with xCloud Gaming, according to Microsoft and their support team on the phone. I think by now you can probably see where this video is heading. At first glance, I thought this would be fine. I found it in the Apple section at Best Buy, so clearly, based on the placement, it should be supported. On the box, it says that it has iPad support or iOS support, even though it has an asterisk, and I guess I should have paid more attention to that asterisk. But it says that iOS support is coming in the future. The future from the time that you actually print on a box is infinite. So immediately, as soon as they print this box, we're in the future, right? I have no idea when they're officially going to roll out support for this on iOS devices. But, it says that it's wireless and it has USB-C, so it's good enough for me. I think this has got to be the right controller. I buy it and I head home and I connect it to my iPad. Or I should say, I attempt to connect it to my iPad. I press the little Xbox button, and again, I'm a PlayStation gamer, so maybe this is commonplace. I'm a little bit out of my element here with this video, but I press the button and nothing happens. There's nothing lights up, nothing looks like it wants to pair. I don't really know what's going on. I think, maybe it sat on the shelf for a while and the internal battery on this controller died, so I get out the cable, I plug it in. First of all, it's a USB-C to USB-A controller that's in the box. It's not USB-C to USB-C, but that's fine. I run a tech YouTube channel. I've got USB-C cables. I connect it to the iPad and instantaneously press the button, the light comes on. I'm able to get it to pair with my iPad pretty simply through just Bluetooth pairing, and I log in and I'm off to the races, and I'm playing xCloud Gaming on my iPad. Pretty sweet. After about 10 minutes, I let the controller, kind of charge up. So I think I unplug it and it won't charge. I'm looking around trying to figure out what's wrong with it, and lo and behold, again, being a PlayStation gamer, I didn't realize that with Xbox, you have to put batteries. Like batteries. In 2021, you got to put batteries. That's not the main point or main issue that I have with the controller. However, I think it's kind of weird that in this day and age, it doesn't have internal batteries and I have to use AA batteries. Again, not a huge deal, not the point of the video, just weird. So anyway, I plug it back in. I'm playing a little bit of Destiny on my iPad. Again, this is kind of the dream, but it's a little laggy, a little glitchy, and I'm like, yeah, it just came out of beta. I get it. Maybe this is just part of the process, or maybe my Wi-Fi has an issue. I run a speed test. I'm getting like 320 meg down and 20 up, so it shouldn't be any connectivity issue with my iPad. So I think like, hey, whatever, I'll connect it to my Mac and see if it performs any better there. So as soon as I wirelessly connect the controller to my Mac, I get a notification in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and I'm going to read it to you so I get it right here. It says, this device needs a firmware update to resolve connectivity and performance issues. That's great. I'm having some connectivity and performance issues on my iPad, so I'm excited that maybe there's just a firmware update that's going to solve the issues that I have with the controller. And that's where the wheels come off. I click the notification on my Mac and it takes me to an Apple support page, which is talking about connecting an Xbox controller to your Mac or your iPad, and then you need to update the firmware. And there's a link in that article that takes you to an Xbox support page. Okay, this is fine. Everything's working kind of the way I expected so far. When I get to the Xbox support page, it gives me instructions on how to update the firmware. So to update the firmware on this controller, I have to connect it to my Xbox or to my Windows 10 computer. I don't have a Windows computer. I'm a Mac user. I've got an iPad, and I don't have an Xbox. What am I supposed to do? So I try the Microsoft chat. It's not super helpful. I will say, to Microsoft's credit, there's a little button where you can click to have someone call you. And I mean, they called within 30 seconds of me inputting my information. The woman that I spoke to in tech support was really nice, really helpful, tried hard to resolve my issue, but my issue is not one that can be resolved. In order to update the firmware on this controller, you have to be able to connect it to an Xbox or connect it to a Windows 10 PC. This controller, which is designed to be able to work with xCloud Gaming, and I did confirm that this controller is supported for xCloud Gaming on the iPad when I talked to tech support from Microsoft, but this controller, if you don't have an Xbox or you don't have a Windows computer, you can't update firmware. So I don't understand how Microsoft or Xbox can sell a controller that's supposed to support xCloud Gaming on an iPad and then not support the device to be able to provide firmware updates to it unless you own another piece of hardware. That's unreal. So again, I did speak with the technical support team. They confirmed all my issues here. The resolution that I was given was if I had a friend or a relative that had an Xbox, I could plug it in. And fortunately, I do, but that's not the point. The point is that if you manufacture a product, you need to be able to provide support for that product. Currently, this particular product is supported and used on iPad devices. It's actually the recommended controller for iOS devices or hooking up to Mac OS. Like, this is the Xbox controller that is supported, but they don't support it unless you own a Windows computer. That's ridiculous to me. Now, I do realize that this is a new rollout. I realize that xCloud Gaming is a newer product, and I hope that Microsoft is going to launch an app or something for the iPad, or at least provide a way for you to update firmware via a web browser. But as of right now, if you are an iOS user or a Mac user and you're thinking that you're going to be able to buy and use this controller with your devices, you can use it, but you're going to have connectivity and performance issues and no way to update it. So what do you guys think? Am I off base here? Again, I've been a Mac user, an iPad user for years. I've been a PlayStation user, but I've not been an Xbox user, so my experience here has been a little bit jarring. Am I off base? Am I overreacting? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.